This is Julie.
Hey, calendar, what's my morning like?
Julie's about to have a long day.
At 9 a.m., soccer carpool. 9:10, purchase birthday card. 9:05, dry cleaning.
Did you just go backwards?
I'm sorry, I can't fit that question into your schedule. 9:15, cry for a little bit.
For days that won't end, let Schwann's help. With Schwann's, you can get delicious meals that go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. Visit today at schwanns.com.
Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
Phone $15 a month after $22.50 a month. Credit apply within 2 bills. If canceled earlier, remain a balance due. Unlimited basic after $630.20. Pay $32 per month per line for 5 lines with auto pay. Data deprioritization during congestion. Speed maximums. Use rules and restrictions apply.
Hi, this is Jim the Keys bartender. Welcome to episode 97, Disney Exorcism. I'm here with Bill Wissinger.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Yep, and I'm Jim Horan, the Keys bartender. It's a hot day down here in the Keys.
It is another hot day down in the Keys.
Yep, and today our featured bar will be at the Atkins Park Restaurant and Bar in Atlanta, Georgia.
There we go.
It's in northeast Georgia in the Highland, Virginia Highland area. Of
Virginia Islands?
You know that?
Yep.
Oh, cool. So we're going to talk about them a little later. I hope they're listening. We'd like to thank Jade for sending out her post for that. And we will be talking about, I gleaned some information, and we'll go into depth because we like to send love to our listeners and different bars because we're not all, it's not, I was talking to someone today, just because of Keys bartender, we can promote here, but there's a lot of great places out there.
There's a lot of great bars around.
Yep. Recently, what was it? There's a rumor mill story, right? Yesterday.
Oh, God.
When will you tell me? I'll tell you what I heard, okay?
Okay.
Sean Dickens comes in. He's gathering his equipment and stuff like that. And he says that the guys that play for Blake Shelton sometimes were in town for a wedding, and they were playing at a local bar. And it's going to be like big thing going on and stuff like that. And I didn't recognize.
No, but
I don't know. You know what? I know who Blake Shelton is. You know how I know him? From that show, whatever it is.
Oh, I've never seen that show.
The
No.
The Voice.
Yeah, no, never seen
Okay.
it. Maybe like snippets of it, 2 or 3 minutes. Just
So what happened? So what was it?
Good Nashville players. Part of it was right there in town for a wedding.
Yeah.
And, they're good Nashville guys. I'm sure someone might have played with Blake Shelton at some point, but we had a good time. It was, had Alex Caldwell up there set up, and we did a jam night. The Key Billies played some, and they played. They did some really good stuff. It was a lot of fun.
I saw a picture with Cody in the background. Luke playing. Was Luke up there?
Yeah, Luke was up there. He came up, and me and Luke played a little bit, and Cody played a little bit with Luke.
Yeah.
And then, what else we do? I played a couple songs with Alex. Yeah, just got some people up, had a good old time.
Yeah. Yeah, Luke Glenn is a regular, one of our regulars. You'll hear him on Wednesday.
Yeah, he'll be up here tomorrow.
And he's bouncing around in different places down here. He's a denizen of the Key Largo. You find him in the Cribbing Club and
your local Mom's Taxi.
Yeah, Mom's Taxi. He's
That's
the driver
where he is right now.
Well, if we had our way, if we get enough listeners and stuff like that, maybe you won't have to drive a taxi anymore. But
I don't know, man. It's as long as he gets one of the air-conditioned ones, that's not a bad gig.
Yeah, it is just sitting around driving.
Driving is not a bad way to spend the day.
Sometimes in the Keys it sucks. This time of year, maybe not so much. But I guess he's still getting business out there and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems to be a little slower right now. I actually going in the supermarket, like I said before, when most of the people, every time you go down an aisle, most of the people you do see are people you know. And over the weekend, we had a series of, I guess there would be prank phone calls.
What?
Kathy got the first one.
At the catch?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I think it was a Mexican guy trying to do a Southern a gringo Southern accent.
Okay.
So, and she mentioned I got the second one. She got the first one on Saturday. I got the second one on Saturday, and it kind of like sounded like this. Hi, y'all. You just making fun of me and all. And this is exactly how I said it. You're just racist. You want to make fun of my accent and all that stuff. Blah, 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 blah. And it was every third word I understood. And they go, excuse me? And the guy sounded angry but also kind of laughing. And I'm thinking, wow, this is the lamest. And I do bad. I know a lame accent when I see it, but I can do a little better than that person. And they were just twanging all over the place.
That's pretty funny.
And I was speaking. And I think they were trying to curse me out a little.
Probably.
I didn't quite get it. And the fact that they did it twice, and I don't know. That's like blathering when you go a prank call. Prank phone calls should have a point. There's a good bit where I did mention this before. You call a Chinese restaurant, you give them a long order, and then you say, hold on a second, I'm going to get my brother-in-law, and he's going to, you just repeat the order back to him, and he'll tell you if it's all right, okay? So what they do is they get another Chinese restaurant, and they put them on with that. So the person repeats the order back, and I don't know what happens, and they go, they say the time 20 minutes. Don't come in for 20 minutes. What do you mean don't come in for 20 minutes? You're ordering from us, you know? You're telling with the Chinese accent, and they start arguing back and forth. That's a great prank call. The guys, the Jerky Boys, did kind of interesting ones, but prank calls have really came in. The funny thing about this is that these guys actually probably thought they were funny, and they had their area code kept in it. I just wish they had more of a point to it. But that Southern accent brought me back to my roots here. We have a couple stories here. One's Disney.
Disney.
Yeah, Disney is such a huge part of the economy down here in Florida. And since
Go do the Disney Death March.
Yeah, when I was 8 years old or I guess maybe 72 it opened in Florida, something like that.
Something like that.
I think it was 8 or 9. And we were there the year after it. And actually it was magical. You walk down the center of the Main Street. Now it's like, God damn it, you got even with those rush passes you get in there and stuff like that.
Yep.
You're waiting 3 hours. And the way they have the zigzag line, but the Death March. You go in there and they put you in and you think, I'm finally getting into it, and finally you get to an area with another zigzagging set, and they may have like up to 3 of them. And back in 1980, my mom lived in Tampa, and my sister, my brother, and I were visiting her from Philadelphia. My brother was living down there at the time, maybe with my mom, because he was younger. And I was driving this Ford Falcon, and we were. I don't know how many fit these people. We drove 7 people. It had to be a bigger car. It had to be a bigger car because I remember driving.
You can't get 7 people.
No, I must have drove a truck or something like that. But we went at 5:30.
How about a Ford Fairlane?
Okay, well, whatever.
You get 7 people in Ford Fairlane.
It was a big sedan.
Yeah, that was Fairlane. Falcon was the little.
And I think it had a shift on the a column.
Column shift.
Yeah, and I had to learn that. I had to spend I had spent a whole month of July loading peaches in downtown Tampa. I was 16 years old.
There you go.
And loading out. I was all like 6'4" and 155 pounds, loading those 40-pound boxes of peaches. And the guy told me I could eat all the peaches I want, and then I ended up not eating a peach for years.
Not ever eating a peach again.
For years. But I had all this extra money, and I said I'd take the family to Disney. And I think the next year I took them to Disney too. But Mom wanted to bring a friend of hers from her church. My mom was born again, and it was early in the morning. It was just dark. You know, one of those things, right? in late July where it's dark at 6:30 in the morning.
Twilight.
But it's still dark. We drive into this a beautiful area where there's houses on this golf course, and there was a man sitting on a lounge chair in front of his house in his pajamas, just sitting there.
Probably having his coffee and a cigarette.
Nope, not a cigarette. We were going to a house. They were born-again Christians. He was just sitting there, looking out, waiting for us. You know, even though we got directions, we couldn't see him because they didn't have any fucking lights on. They didn't turn the lights on, but we still found the place. We picked up the family, and we started driving. And it was this woman and her 2 sons. So this was the trip in itself towards Disney was very interesting. They introduced themselves. Oh, this is Wesley, and I think Colby was the other one. Sounded kind of upper class and stuff. And then you found out they were like batshit crazy. Because he started informing us he liked to be called Whistle.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Whistle. And Whistle had a bag of Chips Ahoy cookies. A full bag of Chips Ahoy cookies. And he was sitting right in my rearview mirror. And I was eating it. And he ate like a squirrel. Just chew at the edges. And I seen him open the bag once for I didn't hear it, just look at it. And all of a sudden my brother goes, hey, how long is it taking you to... My brother was like 13 years old. You're taking like 10, 15 minutes a cookie or something like that. He's saying, guy, just little nibbles. I mean...
Whatever.
Okay, yeah, the whole time. We're going there. And we're hearing stories about him. And we get to Disney. This is just the beginning of the story. But, okay, he takes the back of Chips Ahoy cookies with him. I said, they're not going to let you in with those. And he walks up. And they tell him, no, you can't bring food in. So he goes back to the trash can, and he comes back. It plays a role. Remember the story right there. So we go in there. We go into Disney World with Whistle, Colby, and his mother. And they've never been there before. Snow White is dancing around, and she automatically calls her a harlot, not because of, shacking up with the 7 dwarfs. But because of the outfit she's wearing, showing her shoulders, and then I go, oh my God, and she goes, she's probably not a virgin, and then we're going to Disney, and it's just turning really surreal, and I'm 16 years old, I couldn't believe it. I was going to Catholic school at the time, but we never reacted like that.
Yeah.
So there's all the talking. I think at that time, Mickey, they didn't talk.
No.
When they're wearing
I think
a head.
some of the
actors, but
I remember flirting with the evil queen.
She's hot.
She was hot. She was given better than I was given. That was for damn sure.
But we were the first stop. We were going whenever they went to one of the one when they had the animatronic Dumbo or whatever, something like that was talking. I thought, oh, she's going to freak out. And she goes, no, it's perfectly normal for animals to talk because at a certain time of night on Christmas Eve, all the animals can talk at the same time. And then, so okay, they didn't have a fucking problem with that. So we go to the Hall of Presidents, right? And they were sitting there, and they were just amazed. They go, I thought Roosevelt was dead. I said, they're just animated mannequins. They're not even really quite robots either because their mouths moved in time with kind of, and their eyes blinked slow.
Yep.
They're not natural at all. And Wesley, who was my age, Whistle, said, do they let them sleep at night? Do they have to stay out there all day? And I said, they're not real. And they said, of course they're real. We just saw them. I said, they're not people.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
He says, you're saying that Lincoln wasn't a person. I said, no, that Lincoln wasn't a person.
Yeah. Not quite what you think he is there,
yeah.
Bub.
So we progressed through that. They wouldn't get on Dumbo or the race car things. The little kid, Colby, tried to drink out of the water out of 20,000 Leagues under the...
Yeah.
He tried to get a cup of water out of that brackish black water that was there. And
they took that ride out. That's not there anymore.
Well, years ago they had it, and it was just it's kind of lame because you're riding through this dirty lagoon, not really looking at anything in the water. You had dirty water on either side. So they had that, but the real so we split up, and we're gonna meet at the Haunted Mansion, okay, at like 2:00, and I got Whistle and this guy Colby, and we're at the Frontierland, or whatever that island is, Huck Finn's Island.
Finn's Island.
And there was a big ass chocolate chip cookie right there, and that Whistle just ran, 6-year-old kid, like Luke running for a bag of weed. That's the only way I could describe it. And then Colby orders a fish basket with fries, and I had some coleslaw. And I was eating a hamburger and coleslaw, and the little kid, Colby, takes all my coleslaw and dumps it on his fish. I'm looking, I go, why'd you do that? And he goes, that is not what you're supposed to do with that stuff? I said, no, that's tartar sauce. He goes, oh, like, well, don't you go out to eat with your parents? No, we never go out to eat. And, I mean, the guy starts eating with his hands. I'm trying to give him a fork.
Here's a fork.
Here's a fork for you and stuff like that. He's eating this stuff. He got food all over his face. Whistle has the chocolate chip cookie. He had that chocolate chip cookie. Now, that chocolate chip cookie he wanted to sit there to eat it, but it was 20 minutes, and he didn't make a dent in it. I swear to God, he didn't make a dent in it. And we go walking out. I think I get the ice cream for Colby, and I'm there with my brother and stuff like that. And we're walking past one of these beautiful manicured lawns. Born-again Christians, remember that? And all of a sudden, over my shoulder, I see this piece of trash go towards the swans. I look at it. I would have said, I didn't even say what the hell. I said, what are you doing? He goes, I'm feeding the swan. I said, that's paper.
It's paper. They don't
eat paper. He goes, I thought they were all robots. Because they finally got the idea they were robots. But the Haunted Mansion, that was a beautiful thing. Because we got in the Haunted Mansion, and I had the mother and Colby on one side, and I think I was with my brother Ted, and my mom with Whistle. And there's a part of the Haunted Mansion. I don't know. They weren't freaked out until they got to the mirrors where they put the ghost holograms right at the end.
Ends up on your lap.
Oh no, they freaked out during the globe when they had the head. Speaking, and they were certain. There, she is doing the sign of the cross. She's doing the crucifix sign with her hand and all this stuff. And she's saying prayers. She's closing her eyes and saying prayers and holding on to it. Colby's crying. Whistle's staring like if you ever saw Prince of Tides.
Yep.
Right after they got raped by Nick Nolte's character got raped by the thing that's staring of like dead eyes. Right there at the end of that, and got off the Haunted Mansion. They didn't talk for like 45 minutes until we were eating, and then they were. We had to wait. They had the longest. We were sitting in a Snow White's castle trying to eat, and they had the 10-minute grace. And my food was getting cold, so I started eating. My mom started getting pissed off. I said, "No, you get 1 minute." I said, "We do that. That's the rule in the Catholic." I said, "We're Catholics." I said, "Your mom, you used to be Catholic too." I said, we're still
you
Catholic.
Get 30 seconds.
We're still, yeah. And I started eating and watching them. And then I asked Whistle, I said, why didn't you do a blessing every time you eat your damn cookie? And he brings a cookie out. And he's still like 2/3 from. So that whole thing was like that. And on the way out of Disney, we're leaving, Whistle takes off. He was like a thief. He put the cookies between the trash bag and the can.
There you go.
To get his cookies. And brought the cookies back. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's still eating one of those cookies today.
Might be.
But they came with one time. We also had, Anna Maria Island. It's on the Gulf Coast. My uncle had a house on Anna Maria Island. They had private beaches, and they were separated by stones separating the beaches. And one day they came down to visit us, and I think they stayed overnight. And a storm had just happened or was just rolling in. And we said, you shouldn't really go out there because the Gulf is normally really calm. Yeah. But there were like 6-7 foot waves, and they were standing right next to the rocks, getting pounded into the rocks by the waves. And that was Whistle, Colby, and his mother, the Born Again, and the Disney Exorcism. To this day, I wonder how that guy turned out. I have the others. I'll tell you about my cousin Dewey sometime. Well. My cousin Dewey from West Virginia.
There you go.
He's my step cousin. He actually married 3 women. The last woman he He's in jail. I think he's in jail for murder because
Good for
he
him.
killed her. Well, he married. He was. You seen a picture? They had a family picture. Dewey's second wife or third wife was about 30 years older than him. He was 24, and she's sitting, and she was a big woman. She was a big woman. She's sitting. Dewey's standing with the rest of the kids, and it looked like a family picture of that. And I said, what? That's Dewey have another mom, a stepmom or something like that? And he says, no, that's Dewey's wife. And then a couple years later, I said, what's happened with Dewey? Dewey's in jail. Yeah. Do you want one?
No, I'm good, thank you.
I'll have one. I'll be over. Dewey, I wouldn't be surprised he's still in jail right now.
It could be.
Yeah, Dewey and his little brother. They were funny guys. We got him drunk one time in Philly and had him. The cops are always flying down the street on a Saturday night, and we had him like, "Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Jim." Every time a cop went down the street, we just pretended to say that he was busted. He drank a half a can of Old Milwaukee. And Dewey thought he was going to be busted by the Philadelphia Police Department when he was 16 years old. Yeah. But he did eventually get busted for murder.
Yeah. Well, there
So,
you go.
which there's a feather in your cap.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, yeah. I suppose they will arrest you for public drunk in Philly, but you got to be pretty.
You're right. You do. They don't do that lightly in Philly. They don't have a lot of extra room in those prisons.
You really got to be trying.
My father, the retired Navy guy, he one of the last jobs he had was as an educator for the Philadelphia prison systems. He taught life school. No, my dad.
Yeah, no.
My dad. You didn't get a chance to meet him.
No.
Great guy, and he loved that job.
Oh, I bet it was a ton of fun.
You know why? The people loved to see him.
Oh yeah.
He had men and women. They loved to see him because he wasn't a guard.
Yeah. Right.
And always he was there just to teach them things. And they'd always ask for stamps. And one time he showed the movie Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
And one of the older prisoners, an older black man, he's just sitting there. He's staying behind at the end of class, and he's crying. He was crying at the end of Saving Private Ryan. Because, I never seen a movie like that before. He said, it just touched him.
There you go.
And I said, and he said, what did you feel about that? And he says, I thought it made even just showing him a movie, spent a little time. But I don't know how that got him. Well, we got the Philadelphia prison. Oh, public drunkenness with Dewey. But it's time to get talking about our featured bar, the Atkins Park Restaurant and Bar. It's started as a deli in 1922.
Damn.
It's almost 100 years old. They're
close to it.
They're 3 years away from. Maybe we could do a live show down there sometime. I'll talk about that sometime. It's now an American restaurant and after-hours tavern with live music on 794 North Highland Avenue in Northeast Atlanta, Georgia. It's one of those great old neighborhood bars in the Virginia Highland area. It has a full restaurant for dining, a separate bar, and a patio area if you want to be a little secluded. And this is stuff I gleaned from the reviews, and there were some great reviews coming on. They got an extensive beer selection. They got a great cocktail menu. They have excellent burgers. They got brisket, calamari, hand-battered chicken tenders, shrimp and grits, just to name a few items. And I'm sure if you're in that area, you can find out more about it. And besides that, they have a friendly and knowledgeable staff. So if you're in the Atlanta area, it seems that this has to be the go-to place. It's a real strong neighborhood bar. They got sports. I think they do have a pool table. I'm going to double check on that. But we'll be posting their picture is going to be on the cover of this episode 97, and maybe some weekend or during a down period there and an up period there, we can do a show.
Yeah, they got one over by Druid Hills and another one close to Midtown.
What?
They got two.
They got two restaurants?
Two.
Okay, well, I only have the one right here right now. But if there are two, I'm sure it's great. But this, maybe they franchised it or something.
I don't know. They're showing two locations.
Okay. Well,
that's still pretty cool.
It's a beautiful neighborhood. It's in Atlanta, and I'm sure it's a place we'd like to hang out. And someday we'd like to, when we take our show on the road, we could do that. Maybe bring the Cody James and the Key Billies in there, down there, Luke will be with us, so maybe it'll just be Luke and
Luke
Bill.
will play.
But
Good job.
hey,
We've got some.
I'll tell you,
choice songs for
I
y'all.
think Atlanta's a big city. Atlanta's a big city, but I'm sure you get country folk to come in, and that's what you're going to see if you see Bill. You'll see someone that looks like country folk and Bill and Luke, but they're not really country. They're kind of they're very urbane. Would you say that?
I don't know.
And experienced. I think you
I'm
guys
not,
are worldly.
I'm not sure what that means.
Urbane? Urbane, like urban. You know what I mean?
Fucking with you, Jim.
I mean,
just fucking with you, Jim.
Okay, yeah. I mean, urbane. It's exactly how it sounds. It's a compliment.
Urbane.
Okay. So, for our, I'm going to tell you this tale. The best story is this tale of Monkey Boy.
Okay.
Sunday night at the Catch
What was that
restaurant.
doing Sunday night.
What?
Oh, I was sleeping Sunday night. Oh no, I made Sandy dinner.
Sunday night.
Oh man, we did. I did stuffed poblano peppers on top of chicken, and it was really
Poblano peppers. What?
Yeah.
Are they hot?
No, they're moderately, maybe just a little bit of spice.
Mm-hmm.
Just a step up from a
What
bell pepper.
do they look like? Like size? What do they look like? A bell pepper? Or
Similar to a bell pepper, but they're pointy.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. What color?
Dark green.
Dark green. Poblano.
Poblano. Yeah, they're
Okay.
Yeah, we did stuffed peppers. It turned out really good.
Well, you would
And we wrapped them in bacon.
you would have fit into this conversation, Bill, on our side. So let me set the scene. I'm there with Pam's Bob. Okay, Bob's a longtime resident down here. He's a property manager on Millionaires Row down in Almirada. Bob hobnobs with, like you two, with famous people. But he's a downer.
He's a grumpy old bastard.
I have a good time with him.
Yeah, so do I, but he's a grumpy old man. I'm a grumpy old bastard.
Okay, well, we were having a good time. These two guys come in. And these are the two guys I told you about, the group of guys that came in and got the lobster from the canal.
Yeah.
And then we found out you can get lobsters from the canal as long as you had a unrestricted view of the water going out. Then you had access to and they were in Adam's Cut.
Really? They were in Adam's Cut? Fuck, man, I wouldn't dive in that just because you die.
I know, the boats, right?
Boat traffic.
Yeah. But they had a shitload of lobsters. So they came in. And I did, I don't always know if someone comes in if they had slight mental handicaps or they had a little too much to drink. But they ended up getting another ride from someone at the end of the night. So let me tell you. But they come in, they're ordering lobsters and stuff like that, and they're friendly, and they don't even finish their drinks down there. You get them the drinks, and that same day I had. I'll tell you about the thing with Carter. But these guys were in the late 20s, early 30s. And Bob and I start talking, and they were talking about the lobster, and then we started talking about they came down right after Irma doing recovery work.
Yep.
And they stayed, and they started renting pontoon boats and stuff like that.
There you go.
And started a business. And it's amazing they're still around on their business because of the way they're behave outside, but they're nice guys, and we started talking about exotic foods because we were talking about they were moving dirt around, sand, and someone said you need the sand on this beach because of sea turtles. It's a nesting area, and they were. I think he was moving sand to that area for a price, but moving sand there, and the authorities were saying no, you can't move it there, and he said, but that's the area where the sea turtles nest. Don't you need the sand there? So, and to this day, they said the sand's still piled up in the areas where it's the sea turtles don't nest.
There, whatever.
But we started talking about sea turtles, and someone said, and it just came up in conversation, says, well, my friend says sea turtles are delicious. And I'm going, exotic food. We started talking about exotic foods. And Bob and I were just in the right mood to bullshit. So we started talking about first the sea turtles, then iguanas, bears, pythons, and then Bob goes and says, I said monkey, because I remember the second Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, actually, I remember being in Guatemala and
Chilled.
Rotan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, monkey's pretty much
chilled monkey brains.
Not chilled monkey brain, but monkey is a fairly regular item on the table.
Okay, yeah, chilled monkey brains, and but Bob goes, no, you got to have it while it's alive. They put it in the table, and it's best to have it when it's alive. And I go, yeah, you know what? I heard that, and then I mentioned manatee and all that stuff, and the guy's getting really excited. One of the guys a little more excited than the other. The guy we call Monkey Boy. And he's going, what, those sea turtles and all that stuff? And, we want to eat. And he goes, I want to eat a fucking monkey brain and manatee. And we go like this, okay. And then he gets hooked on the monkey thing. And he goes, hey, man, you hear that story about the woman that got her arms ripped off by an orangutan? And Bob and I are thinking, and I go, are you talking, you don't mean a orangutan and you don't mean arms. I think you mean a chimpanzee to rip the woman's face off. Okay, I know it could have been the other one, right? But he goes, I'm 100%.
Orangutan is pretty capable of taking
Oh, no,
her
it is,
off.
right. But the big story I remember was a chimpanzee. Because the way he told the story, she was visiting a friend, and the friend had the animal, and the animal attacked the woman. And it was this attractive woman who had her face ripped off and stuff. So he says, no, man, I'm 100% sure. I don't think he had a southern accent, but I'm throwing that in there because I'm 100% sure that it was an orangutan. I got the YouTube video. And I go, what? He says, you know what? There's some things I don't need to see. No, but it didn't turn out it wasn't. It was the post. I was going to say post-mortem, but there's pictures taken after the event, and there was a phone call to the police recording and all that stuff set up on YouTube, and they may have showed the animal and the woman before and after, with her how she looked, after they had the bandages off, I guess. Because I hope no one took, they didn't show pictures of her with her face ripped off.
Yeah, probably.
But so Bob looks at it and goes, "Hey, that is a chimpanzee, and her arms are still there, her face isn't." And the guy goes, "My bad." And the line that capped the day, he goes, "Boy, that monkey was a fucking asshole." Like the monkey did it on purpose. I mean, imagine you had to live with some woman and she just kept you on a thing, and friends came out, you had to come and dance for them and shit like that. I think I
know some people in that relationship.
Oh yeah, but when you kind of rip someone a new one, if they kind of fucked
like
around.
I know people.
I think
in
they
that
were feeding it
relationship.
Xanax or something like that, and it got all fucked up. But he goes, "My bad, but that fucking monkey is an asshole." It's like you just say, sitting at a bar and a monkey just come and tear, because that fucking monkey just ripped that woman's face off.
There you go.
Yep. You don't have any. Yeah, what's the most exotic animal? I saw there was a cheetah in Boca Raton. We were visiting my father's cousin, Dana.
Okay, I got
and
a
they had a
monkey story
cheetah.
for you.
They had a cheetah on the other side of a high fence in an enclosed area at the pool, and it was just walking back and forth and stuff like that. And I thought years later, I said, the person that owned that house was a fucking asshole. What do you got?
I got, let's see, me and my buddy Tony Montenegro that I raced motorcycles with for years, and his buddy Ski are all, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. He's opened a new shop, so we're down there for the big grand opening party of the shop and all that. And we all got pretty fucked up, so I decided I wasn't going to drive back down here. I'd just go crash at his house. So we all go over and we're shooting the shit and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'll just crash on the couch. So he walks out and he throws me a broom. I'm, what the fuck? What the fuck's the broom for? Do I have to sweep? He's going, no, that's in case the marmoset comes up and starts fucking with you. Just hit him with the broom.
What? The marmoset is a marsupial.
Yeah, it's a monkey.
Is it the same? Is it a mammal one or a marsupial?
No.
Does it bear its young life?
It's not a marsupial. No, it's
a marmoset's
monkey.
a monkey?
Yeah, it's a little monkey.
Is it
He's
real?
got like 3 of them. He's going to have the monkey start fucking with
Are
you.
they
Just hit him with
assholes?
the broom.
Oh, they're assholes?
Yes, I guess they're assholes. They didn't fuck with me.
They were talking about this place, the resort, where they fucking monkeys come in and start drinking all the drinks, and they fucking start getting whacked up and bothering
Hammered monkey.
people. There's monkeys that go and raid those camps, those overseas
Oh, yeah.
camps, and they steal shit from you. Which, I mean, can you blame a monkey? A monkey has to have a job.
I had a dog that liked to be drunk.
That's supposed to be really bad for a dog.
I had a basset hound. You couldn't put a beer on the table.
Really? You just
He'd come over and knock it over and drink the damn beer.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
Nothing
just
like
lap it up?
Oh, yeah.
How big was it?
Big.
100?
Basset hound, 100
Okay,
pounds.
the biggest thing for them is because they don't know portion control,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Obviously. So if it didn't drink like 3 beers, I think it'd be all
Yeah,
right.
No,
They don't-
his idea of brisk exercise was a nice quick waddle to the food bowl and then back to the couch.
My dog loves wine. Just loves that so fucking. I mean, I can have a cup of coffee. It doesn't jump on a thing. I've had a glass of wine. Roxy will jump on my lap and start going, looking at the glass and get it. But Roxy's 8 pounds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's 1/30th.
Yeah.
1/30th my size. So, she can't have an ounce.
She can't have.
She can't have an ounce. An ounce is over a bottle of wine, if they process it the same way, which they don't. So, but she just gets all nutty over that. She loves that.
There you go.
That fucking wine. In McGeehan's, you met the guys from McGeehan's. They had Jack Mulholland, and if you McGeehan's fans are listening, Jack Mulholland, I'm sending a shout out to you, and my friend Pat Baker. Jack Mulholland had a monkey. I think it was. It was one of the little ones. It could have been
Spider monkey,
capuchin,
yeah.
capuchin, or something like that. And Pat Baker had an alligator, and I think at one point he just had a baby pool in his living room. It was a bunch of guys, and he always wanted the monkey to fight the alligator. Unless the alligator got pretty big, that monkey would have probably hurt the alligator. I think the alligator would have to get probably like 4 feet.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You got a 3-foot alligator. That's
Yeah, really?
a handful.
Yeah, but they don't grow. I mean, they don't grow like in captivity the way they do. You know what I mean? Like fish. It's like fish in a fish tank.
No, they pretty much keep growing.
They do?
Yeah. As
Well,
long as you keep
how come
feeding
when
them.
you take? Okay, I guess we're applying fish. I guess that would be called anthropomorphizing other
no,
animals.
Fish will grow big even in a smaller tank.
Well, here if you take goldfish and you take them out of the small tank and you put them in, if they survive, they can grow really big.
Yeah. Well, they'll grow really big in a small tank too. But the problem is they don't grow really big, not because they're not growing really big, just because they're poisoning the water. You only have 5 gallons. You don't have much filtration, and they're constantly pissing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess if I was living on my own pee and poop, I wouldn't be that big either.
Probably not
Yeah.
going to do so well.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that's a good way to keep your. No, I'm not saying to keep your child small. Keep them. No, let's. Folks, just forget I said that. That's a fucking stupid
Let's not
idea.
even go there.
That's just a stupid idea. A bad idea
danger
for
of free
a bad idea.
association.
A bad idea for a daycare center. Just we keep your kids in a puddle of their own urine and poop in order to keep their size down. It'll save you money in the long run, and the food bill and clothing. You'll always be able to get a children's store, and children's clothes is always cheaper than.
Yep.
You hope is cheaper. But we were talking about the animals. Jack Mulholland had the monkey. Pat Baker had the alligator. And Pat was always suggesting that the alligator was going to fight the monkey. But the alligator was like 18 inches at that time or something like that, real skinny. Jack never brought the monkey out. But if you go and I think I would say if you just go and ring that doorbell, you heard a shitload of noise going on in that house when he had it. Just what unless you're like a shut-in or a paralyzed person.
Yep.
Because you got the monkeys.
Monkey could be
a
handy.
service monkey could be very handy. But if you're someone that has a regular job, but Jack was that kind of guy. He was funny guy. I think he was a horse's ass, they called him. But he wasn't. Jack was smart guy. He's funny. He absolutely loves Christmas. I don't know why I mentioned that part. But he had that monkey. I never know to this day what happened to that monkey, if he still has one. But just remember, don't go real big because Bob went off on monkeys and chimpanzees having the strength of a and I know this is politically incorrect, the strength of a mentally handicapped person. So a mentally handicapped person has a strength like 3 times of a regular person.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think because they don't know restrictions and stuff like that, they just don't think about the hurting themselves. They just think about just doing whatever they have to. You know, it's fear's driving their and fear and lack of knowledge is driving their adrenal system.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'll buy that.
So if you have, hey Josh, if you have a monkey, and then they said old man, how about old man strength? And I said, well, old man strength is just you can't spend a lot of time getting hurt when you're an old man.
Yeah.
You just do as much damage as you can real early. So I said, Bob, what if you had a chimpanzee that was mentally handicapped and old? Be like a superhero. You know?
That'd be kind of scary.
Yeah, that would be scary. And just a monkey that was really strong, but the old man strength could be negated by the mental. So other than my 2 friends there, Snake.
I found a picture of us at Daytona.
My brother had a small python in our fraternity house, and everyone thought, you know, to watch him feed him the mice and all that stuff, and it escaped. And it must have climbed into the drop ceiling because it was an old fraternity house. And when I say brother, it's my biological brother who also became a brother. And they were so pissed at him. And I said, listen, if that snake's still alive, it's eating mice.
It's eating mice. Let it go, man.
Yeah, if you smell something, then it's probably dead. So that's the only 2 things. It's not going to grow to like 12 feet long and then come out of the ceiling and eat you. It just doesn't happen that way. It's just going to end up dying, and we're going to go and pull it out of the ceiling.
Somebody's going to be remodeling the house, and there's going to be a dead snake in the wall.
About 10 years later, I had to close the house because of some allegations. Oh, that is cute. It looks like the gremlin.
Yeah.
Like Gizmo.
Yep. That's one of his marmosets.
A marmoset. Well, that is just wonderful. I mean, I heard some. How about down here? A friend had a skunk with, you know, what do they call it? Deglanded.
I don't know. I know a bunch of people that have house weasels.
Weasels. That's like ferret.
House weasels.
That's like a ferret. Ferret. Yeah, ferrets. Ferrets are smart. Skunks are very smart.
Little thieving bastards.
What?
Little thieving bastards.
Mm-hmm. Magpies. They're smart. Ravens and crows. They say crows. Jesus, there was an experiment I saw where they had a guy wearing a mask, and he climbs up a ladder and goes towards the crow's nest, and the crows start firebombing him. You know, coming down. He doesn't touch the nest, but it had eggs and it was nesting, and so later on, they just had someone else put the mask and walk down the same path. They ignored everyone else and went after the person with the mask on.
Oh, yeah. Well, going, hey, I know you.
You know, unless they either have a tremendous sense of facial recognition or a latex allergy. Right? I didn't mean that to be funny, but I mean, that's what it pretty much, you know, a lot of times the correlation between a study,
Yep.
you know, you have a fucking study and say, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, who was the guy that ate the young boys?
Bundy?
No, Bundy was the one, the sorority
I know
girls.
who you're talking about.
The guy from Wisconsin, I think.
Oh,
Milwaukee. Dahmer. They all ate Captain Crunch. Now, the correlation.
You eat Captain Crunch, you're
gonna be a mass murderer.
There you go.
But that just means that, you know, they were pre-diabetic maybe or something like that. It has nothing to do with it. It's just one correlation thing like that. We mentioned this on study and effect when it comes to drugs. They advertise on the television.
Oh, God, I know, yeah.
Every time a counter-indicative result occurs, no matter how small, they do a test on 1,000 people, and 2 of them have rashes or suicidal tendencies. 2 out of 1,000.
Yep.
then they'll have to say may cause suicidal tendency, giving you the impression, because whenever someone's announcing a drug and all of a sudden they go, may cause suicidal tendencies.
Well, I'm not taking that.
I mean, how about homicidal ones? I mean, if you do a large enough study, there's going to be, I mean, do you throw that one out? You can't. That's the killer for a thing. They say may cause homicidal tendencies.
There you go.
That was great. The woman down here that won the big whistleblower lawsuit, I worked for her.
Oh, yeah.
Cindy. She was a chief executive on one of the on the pharmaceutical company, and the drug, I forgot the name of the drug, but a woman, I don't even talk about it. What happened? It did a woman taking a drug, and there was a tendency for this to occur. But is it time? It was a tendency for it to occur, but they did not announce it in the disclaimer, and they kind of hid the evidence, and she revealed it, and she had a huge
settlement.
Well, it wasn't a settlement. It's a reward, I think. Oh. It's a whistleblower award for, it's kind of like for people to come forward, because there's a lot of negatives coming forward, so you need to have something to be able to protect you and be able to have legal recourse. Yep. And that legal recourse, you have to protect yourself. Sometimes you need money. Okay, well, listen, we have come to the end of our show, and we'd like to thank the Atkins Park Restaurant Bar in Atlanta, Georgia, for allowing us to feature them, and we wish them all the health and happiness in the world. And
looks like a cool place.
It looks like a cool place. We got to get up there. Tomorrow is going to be 98? Episode 98, and it's going to be, you got a lot of balls. No, it's actually exactly what
tennis balls, soccer
mean.
Balls.
It's along those lines.
There you go.
Okay, well, this is Jim the Keys bartender. Tomorrow we're going to be at the Catch Restaurant. Today we're at the Blackwater Siren. Great specials. Come down here right off US 1 as you get on the south side of the Jewfish Creek Bridge. You just come in. There's the drinks are great. The food specials are even better.
There you go.
Take care and God bless. I'm going to leave Bill for.
Thank you all so much. We do appreciate you listening. We will catch you all tomorrow night. And thanks again to the Atkins Bar people up there. Look forward to getting up there and having some drinks with you guys. We do appreciate you all listening, and we'll see you next time.
Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
Phone $15 a month after $22.50 a month. Credit apply within 2 bills. If canceled earlier, remain balance due. Unlimited basic after $630.20. Pay $32 per month per line for 5 lines with auto pay. Data deprioritization during congestion. Speed maximums. Use rules and restrictions apply.
Napa know-how. At Napa Auto Care Centers, you'll get a $75 prepaid Visa card when you spend $250 on Napa brake parts, which is cause to celebrate. Because normally the sound of screeching brakes means your bank account's about to take a hit. But getting $75 back makes that hit not so bad. Quality parts installed by the pros. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Care Centers. Exclusions apply. Offer ends 6/30/19.